Welcome back to Let's Play Veil of Darkness. Let's just restore the game where we last left off. We've been talking to the magistrate of this valley, of this village, but let's just leave, because we're finished here. And go to another important house and talk to someone who will give us some clue.
If you came looking for Constantine, he is in the other room.
Constantine? Is he your son?
Excuse me while I spit out those leaves. These leaves. Yes, Constantine's my son, the only one I've got. Nobody ever comes here to see me, so I figured you're here to see him.
What about the leaves? You mind me asking, what exactly are you chewing on?
Betony. It sort of tastes like mint, so I like the taste, and it's supposed to cleanse the blood. If you really want to know what it's good for, you'll have to ask Annabelle.
You say it tastes like mint leaves? Do you mind if I try one?
Sorry, but I don't have many of the leaves left, and they're really hard to find from what Constantine tells me. He is the one that goes out and picks the stuff. If you want some, you'll have to ask him where he finds it, and get your own.
Okay. So let's just talk to his son, Constantine. Hello, I'm Constantine. As you can see, I'm a collector of sorts. Well, actually I'm a historian, but I also collect relics of this valley. I'm interested in the relics. There seems to be more interesting stuff here. Is there anything you would sell? Fellow collector, my apologies, but most of the relics here are very valuable to me. Though I do have one piece, a talisman of sorts, that I would part with for 2 silver coins. I haven't a clue what it may be good for. You might want to brave a trip to that old witch at the crossroads. She might tell you. That's if she doesn't eat you first. Do you want to buy the talisman? Yes, it's a fair trade. Thank you. I do hope that you find some use for the charm. Remember, the old witch at the crossroads might know what it's good for. I'd had a thought of taking your money for that worthless trinket. You're a historian. What kind of history do you study? I devote most of my time to this valley's past. I'm particularly interested in Nikolai, the lord that ruled this valley before it was engulfed in shadow, and his sons. What can you tell me about Lord Nikolai? Whatever happened? He was murdered by his son, Cain. At least that's what I believe. The records say it was a thief. You see, there was no proof, and with his father and brothers dead, Cain won dominance of this valley. Why would a thief want to kill Nikolai? It sounds more like an assassination. I agree, but it was written that on the night of Nikolai's death, many valuables were stolen from the Lord's castle. Amongst these valuables was Nikolai's signet ring. So you see, it was thought that the thief attempted to steal the ring while Nikolai slept. When the Lord awoke, he must have struggled with the thief. He was stabbed in the back with a dagger. No one was there to hear Nikolai's cries for help, so he bled to death in the passing of an hour. What can you tell me about the sons of Lord Nikolai? How many sons? There were 7. Alexander, Theodore, Nathan, Michael, Kern, Christian, and the youngest, Peter. We've heard about Christian from Jasha, the musician. What did you learn about Christian? A fine minstrel from all that I've heard. Like all of his brothers, he too died of estrangement and mysterious death. What can you tell me about Alexander? What do you know about this guy? He was a warrior, one of the finest swordmen ever from what I've read. He eventually met his match, though. He dueled with a stranger never before seen in the valley. Alexander was killed and beheaded with his own rapier. After the duel, the strange swordman took Alexander's head up to the barn and deposited it there, as if it were a bag of coins. That is how the tavern got its name, the Severed Head. Instead of fleeing, this man waited for the Lord's God to seize him and hang him. He never resisted, only laughed, as he was dragged to the gallows and hung. Quite curious. What about Theodore? This Theodore, what kind of son was he? Oh, he was vain, terribly vain. He abused his father's position and spent his coins and booze and wenching. Why, once, when his father was away, Fyodor had a coin minted with his own image upon it. Nikolai was furious when we returned from his travels. He had many of the coins found and destroyed, but I think that to this day some of the coins still exist. That could be interesting. In the end, Fyodor must have angered some unknown person, because it was found in a dark alley with the skull split open. I don't think there were many that grieved the death of Fyodor. What about Nathan? Nathan loved to hunt, so he spent a lot of time in a small cottage that he had built in the dark forest. He died in a hunting accident. I believe it was thought that a bear or wolf got him. Of course, there wasn't much of his body left, so it was hard to tell. And about Michael? Who is known? Michael was the weakest of the brothers, so he dedicated his life to his scholarly duties. I'm sorry for the poor English. Unfortunately, before he grew into full manhood, he died of some disease. What can you tell me about Peter? Peter, the youngest son, did he die as well? Although his body was never found, it was believed that he drowned. A pony he had been riding was found washed sore. I would imagine that his body probably sunk into the bottom of Blackwater's murky depths. What about Blackwater? What's this Blackwater you mentioned? It sounds like a lake, but I don't recall seeing any water in the valley. You're right, it is a lake, and a large one at that. It lies in the very center of this valley. Not very many people go there. It's supposed to be inhabited by will-o'-wisps, creatures that fed from humans' life force. From what I remember, legends say there is an island in the center of the lake. Of course, nobody has crossed that body of water since the old ferryman drowned. That was well over 100 years ago. And finally, let's ask about Kern. What can you tell me about him? I prefer not to discuss that evil one. Suffice it to say, he is the thing that brought all this evil into the valley. He rules completely. No one can oppose him. The people of this valley are his sustenance, which he feeds upon. Quite curious. Anyway, if we got a doubt from the history of the valley or Nikolai's sons, we can come back here, I think. Oh, I forgot to ask one thing to Constantine. Yes, do you remember that we've been told about Bethany? So let's just talk to him. What do you know about a plant called Bethany? A Bethany? My mother likes to chew the stuff. It's not easy to find, but I've discovered a small patch in a remote place in the cemetery. I picked the patch clean last time I was there, but Bethany grows fast. There might be some more now. Let's just say goodbye for now and see if we can pick up this Bethany, but we've been warned that... You know, this is a strange valley. Maybe there's some danger in the cemetery. Let's explore this house anyway. Hello, who are you? You don't have someone you want me to bury, do you? It's been a while and I'm just dying for the chance to dig a grave. Who knows, maybe I'll get the chance to dig yours. I hate to disappoint you, but I don't think you'll be getting the chance to dig my grave. That's what they all say, my friend. That's what they all say. Remember that when you find yourself overcome with the madness or clenched in the jaws of a wolf, you may get eaten, and I might not get to bury your body. But at least I'll get to add your name to the Book of Souls. What's this Book of Souls? Come now, you don't think that all I do is dig graves, do you? The Book of Souls. It's a book containing all the names of the dead and how they died. Interesting. Can I see the Book of Souls? I might need a name from its pages. I don't have to show you anything, and I'm definitely not going to let you rummage through the Book of Souls. Okay, let's just say goodbye for now and call the video, because we've almost come to the time, so when we come back we'll continue talking to the grave digger. So we'll see you next time.